Jess, a traffic stop turned into a death investigation in this parking lot last night. Rochester's police chief told me the man became unresponsive only after police had him in handcuffs. Good morning, I'm Jacob Murphy. This is a News Center special report just hours after announcing missing teen Jamie Kloss had been found alive, apparently escaping her captor. Authorities in Barron County, Wisconsin are set to address the media at any moment. And I'm Jacob Murphy. For our forecast, it's almost like copy and paste, maybe a few changes from Wednesday. Ted's outside with those details.
These signs are blocking off just a small stretch of 1st Avenue Southeast in downtown Rochester, but it comes with a big impact.
While the chaos that happened here in this neighborhood 2 nights ago is certainly considered violent, it may not be considered deadly. That's the latest from Rochester police. We know right now the perimeter was set up initially at Simpson Road and 45th Street Southeast. This is a bit southeast of town. You're really someone I can look up to and not just literally. Our region's generosity is already on full display as we raise funds to help our friends that are dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Florence. Their food will make you salivate, their humor will make you roll your eyes. It, of course, is time for Tailgating Tuesdays, another thrilling season upon us. That was a Thai chili meatball slider with lettuce, with bread. Either way, it's phenomenal. 8 o'clock this morning, city officials shut the road down. It's all part of a carefully orchestrated plan to accommodate massive crowds while keeping visitors safe. I'm Jacob Murphy. Some fabulous colors in that video. The only color we're seeing this morning is white. That's because the snow's still falling at this hour, Ted. A pair of Minnesota-based companies are making headlines for what will no longer be offered in their stores. Good luck buying a CD at Best Buy. They served in our military. Now they're convicted drug users or violent offenders. Federal stats show about 180,000 veterans are behind bars, an outcome all too common for those involved with a growing movement to give service members a second chance. With talks here of similar reforms, I trekked to La Crosse to get a first-hand look. Veterans Court is in session. Honoring our veterans with music and prayer. This scene last month in Rochester replicated across the country for Veterans Day. But in the quiet of this Wisconsin courtroom, vets aren't receiving accolades. With the looming threat of jail time, they're looking to make an about-face.
When I first came into the program, I was very defiant and angry, and how could I find myself in trouble?
Chris Griffin is part of the La Crosse Area Veterans Court. Like other problem-solving courts, say a drug court, the goal is to keep people out of jail. But here, a rigorous routine of counseling targets what many believe is a root cause of veterans ending up in criminal court.
It's a lot of work with some of these veterans. The mental health issue really takes a toll on them.
Judge Todd Bierke rules over this court. A veteran himself, he knows each case well, talking to vets like a concerned friend, pushing for change.
Do your best. Generally, you'll succeed.
Now in its 8th year, the La Crosse program uses a mentor system, a confidential vet-to-vet conversation to explore who they are, what they're feeling.
Everything that's going on with me and all my fears, all my concerns.
Now making regular trips to the courthouse for Veterans Court helps former soldiers remember they're not alone.
It really starts to open their eyes up, because right now they think they're on this addiction side or this mental health side, and they think they're the only one.
Veterans in southeastern Minnesota don't have this option. That could change.
I think we'll easily be able to find those participants.
Olmsted County Attorney Mark Ostrom says next year should see the debut of a Veterans Court for the 3rd Judicial District, spanning from Owatonna to Winona.
We will be looking at violent offenses, but we've trained them to be violent.
Critics argue veteran courts take up valuable resources that could go to all vets. Ostrom says securing a federal grant would pass virtually no cost to the county, and that these vulnerable vets deserve our special attention.
But when you really think about the combat trauma, the experience, and what we've expected of these folks when we deployed them, I think they're deserving of that little extra favoritism.
Be aware that sometimes you change people's lives without having to even talk to them.
And when we get people to a point where they are afraid to go back to where they were, then they're really invested in their treatment to move forward.
I'm no longer dependent upon drugs and alcohol to cope with just life in general. I'm in a much better place as a result of this program. There's nothing we can do to change what has happened in the past. The future is not here. It's all about today and dealing with today, because today is all we really have.
Welcome to 19th century Frontenac. Many people have fallen in love with Frontenac and its ambiance. Walking past the spacious green lawns.
This story begins where other stories end, the cemetery, just a bit up the road from the shore.
Israel Gerard came here in 1854 and visited the village and had the vision and the financial means to create and have the village platted.
Local historian Lori Winland tells the tale of the village founder at his newly scrubbed headstone as she and others lead a new crusade.
It's a beautiful view.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see both upriver and downriver.
Now we've moved to Frontenac Point, at one time a landing spot for settlers looking for new opportunity.
Great hopes of owning their own land. They had a promise of a lot in the village to build the village.
And a village they built, from fur trapping to farming to recreation.
It was very large because this is where they spent their time on their rocking chairs.
What started as a warehouse transformed into the Lakeside Hotel in 1868, a three-story lodge with an unbeatable view. Bill Fleece has spent 3 decades transforming the structure as old as Minnesota itself.
We held up the 3rd floor. We cut out the 2nd floor walls and lowered it down, making it a 2-story.
Years of renovation to turn what at last use was a summer camp base into a 4,000 square foot home for his family.
I came to camp here in 1951 and I fell in love with the area. And when I had a chance to buy it in 1986, I wanted to restore it to what I remembered it to be.
The old hotel is the last of several projects he's led over the years, restored homes that now house Mayo Clinic doctors, among others, looking for a piece of Lake Pepin.
Frontenac, a small village that averaged 140 residents in the 19th century, retains its character with only 280.
Our story continues with a quick drive past sparkling white homesteads and beautiful green lawns. Our next destination, Christ Church Episcopal, founded by a Civil War general, it too undergoing a makeover in time for its 150th anniversary this year. Reverend Steve Geen tells me a 7-year fundraising campaign and countless hours of help by parishioners have this church looking angelic.
The floor sways.
Yeah.
So he put blocks underneath them, different blocks for different heights, so that the top of the pews would be all the same level.
Every wrinkle of time ironed out in time for the first service in the renovated chapel this weekend. Back at the cemetery, I asked Lori why she fell in love with Old Frontenac and its history.
We don't have any retail. We don't have any sidewalks. We walk on gravel roads. We don't have any street lights, so we enjoy dark skies.
That love turned into a 5-year research project and the publishing of 2 books this year, records uncovered and a past preserved.
I hope that it maintains that ambiance, but it takes work. It's not something that comes easily. It'll take future generations to take an interest in the history, to want to maintain it.
For now, this story ends with an invitation.
My wish for you, the reader, is that after you have read this book, you will stroll through Frontenac and feel as connected to these pioneers as I do. Enjoy the journey.
In Old Frontenac, Jacob Murphey, KTTC News Center.